Special bundles with premium membership from Chess24. Super discounts on merchandise. Massive sales on courses from Chessable. Chessable and Chess24 bundles. With new deals appearing every day. Visit chess24.com/deals.
Yeah, hello everyone, and happy Tuesday morning. 10 Central here in Minnesota. First, thank you to all the people who tuned up today. I'll be answering questions, and I can play one or two blitz games also. So I see a few questions already. I'm on the Chess24 chat and also on the YouTube chat. So first one by Spirit Tapper. What do you consider your best game? Can you take us through it a bit and show some of your thoughts? I consider my best game right now is the one against Dingliren, played 5 years ago in Bilbao. And I analyzed that game yesterday. You can find on YouTube under live analysis in my most interesting games. So you can look it up. I analyzed 3 games yesterday, but the Dingliren game is the second one. Yeah, hello to the YouTube chat also. Let's see. Who do you GM So who do you consider the best Roy Lopez player in chess history? If you could elaborate on this for a while. So best Roy Lopez. That's actually there are so many players who are very good in the Roy Lopez. For example, right now Fabiano Caruana is plays the Roy Lopez very well. Probably the strongest player who plays it well. I mean, of course, Magnus plays the Rui Lopez too, but Magnus is more a universal player. So I'd say the best Rui Lopez player, probably Bobby Fischer. Because Bobby Fischer plays only e4 for the most part in his career. He considers e4 as the best move, and it probably still is. E4 best by test of Bobby Fischer. So yeah, unfortunately, Bobby Fischer has had not such a long career as Gary Kasparov. So in that regards, let's see. I guess he doesn't have that. I'm not sure if he has many model games in the Rui Lopez, but definitely Bobby Fischer is one of them. Or alternatively, Gary Kasparov is also a good choice. He had a lot of Gary Kasparov also has a lot of memorable games in the Rui Lopez. He beat Vichy Anand in this extremely famous game. You should look at the game if you haven't seen it. In the Rui Lopez in their 1995 New York World Championship match. Yeah, 1995 Classical World Chess Championship match between Gary Kasparov and Vichy Anand. They played several Rui Lopez games, and then in one game, Vichy Anand got crushed. And let's see, Gary Kasparov also played some fantastic Rui Lopez against Nigel Short in their 1993 PCA Chess Championship. So there also plenty of beautiful Roy Lopez games, and also Gary Kasparov against Anatoly Karpov. Roy Lopez games were also a classic. So yeah, so I'd say probably Gary and Bobby Fischer, two of the best Roy Lopez players chess history. Yeah, thank you, Spirit Tapper. Let's see. I'm reading the name of my two cats are Zanzibar and PDG. And the PDG is a French, sounds like a French word. I didn't really name them, but PDG stands for President, Director, General. They're both born the year 2002. But Zanzibar is my cat. He's so loving, and so yeah, I hope that they still live for a long time. They are Burman cats, by the way. So Burman cats, they came from Burma, and they're very pretty cats. They came from Burma, and then some of them got shipped to or got moved to France, and from there they grew, and we have a lot of there are quite a number of Burman cat sellers in the United States. But even here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Midwest, if if you looked around, there are a few Burman cat sellers. Let's see. Spirit Tapper, what is my favorite thing to do outside of chess? Um, Favorite thing to do outside of chess is probably read books or watch Netflix right now. Um, Also to read the news, read the history. I love reading about history because they're so realistic. First, because of course they happened, and secondly, I like reading about great great people from the past. So, for example, recently I've been reading about great American generals who won us the World War and who also won us the Civil War. So, for example, um, uh, what, Ulysses Grant, he won us the Civil War. Recently, there's been a documentary about him in the History Channel. So if you haven't watched that one yet, it's just a 2 episode series. So you should definitely watch the documentary about Ulysses Grant. But yeah, in general, because chess has been my only job for the most part in my life. So in general, when I'm not doing chess, it's hard to find things. I mean, I do exercise from time to time. I swim. I love swimming. I can swim for a very long period of time. I can swim for 2 hours, do all that laps. But right now the gym is closed. I think all gyms here, yeah, where I live, or at least in the state Minnesota, pretty much closed until I don't know, until December 20th or something. We have a lockdown right now, so many of the buildings are closed. Let's see. Let's see. Did I miss any questions? What is the reason the world is seeing more prodigies now than ever? Passion, practice, engines. What is it? Well, the reason that the world is seeing many more prodigies and many more young chess players who are getting better is because of the internet. So if you think about it, 30 years ago, it's very hard to even find great chess books. Well, now, the very minute that the chess book is released, you can already buy it online by buying an ebook. And all the information is in the internet. You can watch games the very minute that they're played. For example, I can watch the Russian Super Final right now. Well, in the old days, let's say back in the 90s, people, or in the 80s, people have to wait for a month to see those games, and they have to, or unless they have a friend abroad who's watching the games in Russia, in general, it takes a month or so to even follow the Russian championship. But now you can literally have it in your fingertips. And in addition, extremely powerful chess programs like ChessBase and Mega Database. You can find millions and millions of games, so all the information is there. And in addition, you can even have coaching from all the strong grandmasters in the world. You just need to look them up online, and that way, if you're really hardworking, all the material that you need to improve is there. So the internet has modernized the world. Are you a pure Filipino, Wesley? Thank you for inspiring fellow Filipinos to play chess. Yeah, hi JB Bernal. Yes, I am probably 75% Filipino and 25% Chinese. So that's why my last name is So. My biological father speaks Chinese quite well. He worked in Taiwan, and he's also been to mainland China for a while. But I don't speak Chinese. But I'm part. If I speak Chinese, maybe I'll be better friends with Ding Liren and you and Wei, for instance. Let's see. Best book for the middle game. Yeah, I knew this was gonna come up. So best book for middle game. Well, it depends on your level, but in general, what was I gonna say? The book I showed yesterday, the Gary Kasparov book, where he annotated these games. In general, game collections annotated by the top players themselves, by the world champions, best games written by them is generally very good. For example, I actually had this old classic book written by Anatoly Karpov himself. It's called Anatoly Karpov My Best Games. This book is an instant classic, published in 1978 by RHM Press. And it's a book about Anatoly Karpov's 58 best games. So this book is a classic. My Best Games by world chess champion Anatoly Karpov, because he annotated it himself. So there are many game collections out there, and in general, I like books about game collections by world champions or by top players. So, for instance, I know that Magnus Carlsen has a couple of game collection books out there, but he didn't write them himself. So, My Best Games by Anatoly Karpov, published in 1978, is a classic, and he talked about his childhood a little bit and how he started chess and what his routine is during tournaments. And he analyzed 58 games himself. So definitely a must-have, published 1978. And in general, there are many chess books out there. So if you're starting out, as a player and you don't have any openings, Modern Chess Openings by Nick DeFirmian is also a recommendation. There's the Modern Chess Openings, there's the Jannan Chess Openings. So if you're trying to build an opening repertoire and you don't know what to play, getting one of those books is extremely useful. Also, because Bobby Fischer recommended starting players to read Modern Chess Openings from cover to cover, but I don't necessarily recommend you read Modern Chess Openings from cover to cover, but just try to pick out which openings you want to choose and just study them, because Modern Chess Openings is complete, covers all the moves for the most part. Who is the best Russian player right now? Well, Ian Nepomniachtchi is definitely the strongest Russian chess player right now. So ever since Vladimir Kramnik retired, there filled the void of who is the best Russian chess player. So right now, Ian Nepomniachtchi is playing extremely well. His rating is close to 2800. 2800. Georg Moin, hi Wesley, what computer hardware do you use to study? Well, I use chess base. I have chess base 16. I use mega database, and then I use Stockfish for an engine, but I mostly use the cloud engine. So in chess base, um, they have this system called Cloud Engine Use, and what it does is that you can connect with other more powerful computers without having to run your computer. Because for example, if you have a laptop and then you try to run an engine over it, then your laptop becomes extremely noisy, and it becomes extremely hot, and then it becomes slow. So for that reason, you can use the cloud engines, and then you can either connect to a strong computer, or you can connect to computer you have at home. So that way you don't use the hard disk of your computer. Okay, let's see. Um, isn't this Q&A supposed to be exclusive for premium members? Acts 8. I don't even know. It's the first time I've done the Q&A. So is it? Maybe you can tell me. Okay, well, try to go through every question. Let's see. What are your favorite openings and defenses? My favorite openings are the Rui Lopez defense. It's an instant classic. So the classic openings are the Rui Lopez and the Queen's Gambit. So those two are the most solid openings in the world, and I think they're the most principled and the most classical response against one e4 and d4. So there, Rui Lopez and Queen's Gambit. So for sure, Netflix really needs to create a series about the Rui Lopez now. Okay, let's see. Wesley, how should a 1300 rated player train? Can you suggest a simple systematic plan? So 1300 USCF or FIDE? So I assume it's FIDE, right? Oh no, it's USCF. Because I don't think FIDE ratings even give 1300. I think they're, if I remember correctly, their most minimum rating is 1599. Okay, FIDE. Okay, maybe FIDE. So 1300 is an advanced beginner. So I look it up online. So 1300, I guess, looks for checks, captures, and threats. Yeah, if you're 1300, then I suggest two things. You should buy. First, you should get the modern chess openings, as I mentioned earlier, in order to train your openings. And then once you have the modern chess openings, you go through the openings that you play, and you go through all the columns and play through all the columns and analyze it with yourself using a chessboard and using your head, and don't turn on the engine, because yeah, it's better to study using a chessboard, because sooner or later this pandemic is gonna go away and we're gonna go back to over the board chess for sure. And if you're just analyzing on the computer, it's very tempting to turn on the engine or to check what is this, what is that, instead of thinking. And if you keep using the engine while training, you're not really going to improve because you're relying on the engine and not on yourself. So buy the modern chess openings, review your openings, go through every single column of the openings that you're going to play. So that's one. Number two is you buy puzzle books, not necessarily books, but just get a puzzle book, just one, just any good puzzle book. There are plenty out there. There are like hundreds of puzzle books, so you have a good choice. Right now, I myself am also solving some puzzle books. Right now, I'm going through this book, 600 Modern Chess Puzzles by Martin Krabsib. Not necessarily the best book, but it's good enough. So even I myself am going through some puzzle books that are extremely hard. So that's two. So buy modern chess openings or any chess opening book. Let's say the John Non chess openings, and then B, get a puzzle book and try to solve, let's say, 5 a day. Yeah, that's a good number, 5 or 6 a day. And then finally, you should get a regular sparring partner who is around your level. So that's third. It's important to have a sparring partner because if you're working by yourself, then you're just it's lower. So it's nice to if you can get a regular sparring partner who you can practice against and you can bounce off your ideas. So if you have any questions, you can ask him and share your ideas and thoughts and opinions with him, and then he can do the same. So if you have a regular sparring partner who is around your level, it will be extremely helpful. And if you have a tournament coming up, then you can prepare for that, both of you and your sparring partner, and that would be extremely helpful. But in general, to improve in chess, you just need to be motivated and to have the right mindset, to have a positive mindset. And then at the end of the day, chess is a game, so you should enjoy the game and don't put pressure on yourself too much because improvement comes step by step. So um, just have the desire to improve, and it should come. Put in the work. Yeah, it should come sooner or later. Okay, let's see. Hi Wesley, do you know of any good opening books for 1E4 that will soon come out on Chessable? Oh, hi Minerva. Yeah, actually that question is very funny because right now I'm recording a course which is a lifetime repertoire on 1E4. So it should come out pretty soon. So if you're looking for good opening books for 1E4 with white, you should definitely check out my course, which should come out pretty soon. So my course is a 2-part course, and it's a huge amount of work. I expect the first course to be around 45 hours in terms of video recording length, and the second course probably about the same. So it's a massive course that I will be releasing, or Chessable will be releasing hopefully soon. Okay. So, but in all honesty, there are a lot of 1E4 opening books out there. Not necessarily in Chessable, but in general, there are a lot of. Let's see. There is. Okay, you can look it up. Just type it on Google. But there are plenty of 1E4 books because that's the most popular move in chess. So, Patsero, hi, Mr. Wesley. In your match against Nakamura at Speed Chess, I felt like you were playing for remaining close in score, but not for winning. Semi-final match, by the way, Magnus and Maxim had not yet been played. No, actually, the speeches has been finished for a long time. I mean, yeah, yeah, Hikaru Nakamura won the speeches for third year straight. I'll post you the link there. Okay, let's see. Who should I read? In YouTube chat, do you train tactics every day? Is chess all about tactics? No, chess is not all about tactics, but for the lower level, chess players, tactics is extremely important. So chess, there are many different factors. So there's the opening, there's the strategic play, there's the end game, there's the tactics, and there's also formulating a plan. I don't know exactly the right word for that, but there are many different things that you can improve on your chess. But tactics is important because for the lower level, if you're bad at tactics, you're going to lose a lot of points. You're going to lose a lot of games that are necessary. If your opponent makes a blunder, you should try to exploit it, while you should try to avoid playing blunders yourself. So for the lower level, tactics are extremely important. And B, for blitz and rapid chess, tactics are the most important thing. So that's why I'm practicing a lot of tactics right now, because there are no classical chess online, and And in blitz and rapid, tactics are extremely important. They're much more important than even strategy or positional play, for the most part, because the nature of the game happens so fast, and you only have a few seconds or a few minutes to think. So that's why tactics are so important. But in classical chess, with a longer time period where you have more time to think, there are other important things also, of course, such as knowing where to put your pieces and generating a plan on the middle game, knowing what kind of pawn structure best, knowing where your pieces belong. So those are, of course, also important. But in general, they are time consuming to try to improve. Okay, Wesley, what do you know of Carlsen seconds in World Championships? Any idea how much they would be paid? Um, well, Carlsen seconds. So Peter Heinnielsen is the only one I'm sure of. He works regularly. Well, it's done by contract. So they sign a contract um, for the seconds. Generally, it's an agreement for the entire year, and then they renew it for the next year. But they sign a paper contract, and A, it's either a regular salary where they get paid the same amount of money every month, or B, the seconds get a percentage of the earnings of the top player. So let's say, I don't know. I don't. I'm not. I don't really know how Magnus Carlsen seconds get paid, but first of all their expenses get covered. I assume also the chess work, and B, they either get a stipend or they get a percentage or they get both. So they sign a contract on that regard. But for sure, Magnus Carlsen has a lot of sponsors in Norway, so they're probably covering his coaching and second expenses. How hard is it to achieve the Super GM title, Wesley? JB Bernal, hi again. Uh, it's uh, it's hard because you have to go through many stages, and you have to play internationally. You can't just play at home. You have to play internationally. You have to travel, and I don't even know. To be fair, to be honest, I don't even know what Super GM means, because back then 2600 is a Super GM, but now I assume it's 2700. So to achieve the Super GM, you kind of need some fortune, and B, you need great sparring partners or great coaching, and you need dedication, and also you need to have good talent in you, because hard work is important, but talent is also important. You need to combine both those. You need to combine three factors. You need to combine talent, you need to combine it with hard work, and opportunity, seizing the opportunities that are given to you. For example, with me, if I didn't immigrate to the United States, I don't think I would have become a 2700 player or a top 10 player. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Is the Caro-Kann defense efficient for e4? Hi, Jared Bumalay. Oh, is Roderick Naba on the chat? Yeah, good evening to Roderick Nava, if he is in the chat. I watched some of your videos on YouTube. So congratulations on doing such great work on your coaching. Good luck on your students. And yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Just for people who don't know, Roderick Nava and I are been friends for or friends, or we played quite a number of games back in the older days. So I think we first played in 2001. Yeah, Roderick Nava and I go way back. And if he's in the chat, just shout out. We played in 2001. Maybe you don't remember the game, but we played the game when I was like 8 years old. So that game was the King's Indian with the knight ge2 variation. It was in this team tournament somewhere in Manila. So back then I was playing the King's Indian, so we played the knight ge2 variation. Just shout out to Roderick. We played a few good games in the past. Okay, let's see. What can I answer? Fair in chess. Hi, Kabay and Wesley. I know you are a very religious person. How does your belief in God help you to become more successful in your tournaments? Yeah, I came from the Philippines, and the Philippines is predominantly a Catholic nation, thanks to thanks mostly to Spain, who introduced the Catholic religion to the Philippines. So I believe about 93% of the people in the Philippines are Catholic, and so from an early point of my life, I was introduced to the Bible and to Jesus. And for example, the Revelation is my favorite chapter in the Bible. Been reading it since I was young, so I was introduced to that at a very early stage, ever since I was born. And actually, I've just been recently baptized again. Well, Catholics baptize their babies in general, but also been recently baptized. Made the decision, so yeah. But belief in God help you to become more successful in your tournaments. Well, because basically, as Christians believe that um that our life here on earth is temporary. I mean, what is 50 years in on earth compared to eternal life? So basically, what we do here on earth is just temporary, and we have a permanent home waiting for us. And God gives a lot of spiritual gifts. He gives um he gives talent to people. So, for example, my talent is in chess, and I feel like I have this duty to make use of that to in order not to waste the God-given talent that He's given me. So I feel I have that mentality. So that's why I'm just trying to be the best I can be, because it feels like I feel this is my job. So this is my job as a human being on Earth, to try to to try to use the talent that is given me for better use. Because I mean, I could just sit at home and do nothing, and I have enough money and all that. I'm not gonna starve, and I could do that. But then at the same time, you're not reaching out to other people, and you're not making use of the talent that is given you. So everyone has their own talents, and as a citizen of the world, you should try to use that talent and try to make full use of it. But anyway, let's see. What if? Okay, answer your question. Have you ever had a trainer or a sparring partner? Yeah, in general, right now I have a few regular sparring partners. So sparring partners are very helpful because you can share ideas with them. You can share ideas with them, and you can share questions, and they share their ideas back. And it's good to have someone just to share ideas with. So sparring partners are very useful in that regard because you can learn from them, and you can use the mistakes that you've done and try to avoid them during a tournament. For example, that's why it was very useful for me to move to the United States, because there I have a lot of strong sparring partners who live nearby. They're within grasp, which is not what you can say if you live in a different place. So let's see. What is your opinion on the Tory attack? Let's see. Okay, who should I answer? Okay, what's your opinion on the Tory attack? The Tory attack. The Tory attack. Okay. Well, the Tory attack is a good opening. It's a solid aggressive opening, but it's hard to implement because let's say you're white, you play d4 in the first move, and black plays knight f6. Now, if you play bishop g5 right away, that's the Trompowsky. Black has knight e4 option. Well, if you play the knight f3 move order, and if black plays d5, the Tory attack isn't very good on move 3 because after bishop g5, black gets the reply knight e4, hitting your bishop on g5. So I believe the Tory attack is more efficient if black plays e6 on the second move or on the first move. If black plays e6 on move 2, then you can play bishop g5 and pin the black knight. So you cannot play knight e4. So the Tory attack is a very good opening, but it's hard to get it going these days because if black plays knight f6 and d5, every time you play bishop g5, he can hit back your bishop with knight e4, and then he can gain a tempo. So I believe Tory attack is only efficient if black plays on early e6. Okay, who can I answer? Is the Alekhine defense efficient for against 1e4? The Alekhine defense is not the best opening, to be frank. But again, it depends on your level, and it depends whether how much you like the opening. So in lower levels, opening is a very subjective choice. Every player has their own preference, their likes and dislikes. So if you really like playing the Alekhine and you get decent results with it, then I don't see why you should change. Just try to analyze it deeper. But if you're planning to play the Alekhine as a test, it it uh, it works more effectively when used as a surprise weapon than if your opponent expects it. Because the problem with Alekhine is that after e5, knight d5, white has a few different choices, and white has more space and slightly better play in general. So it depends on how much you really like the opening or whether it's suited to your style. But in general, in the lower levels, I assume that the Sicilian is the best opening for against 1e4. Vin. Hi Wesley, do you have some funny experiences with chess computers to share with us? Funny experience with chess computers. Well, yeah, actually in 2013 when playing in Iceland, I went straight from college in Webster, and then I went to Iceland to play in the Reykjavik Open. And then while flying from St. Louis, I flew to New York. Is it New York or Boston? Probably New York. St. Louis, New York, and then New York to Reykjavik. And then while waiting in the airport in New York, I got my laptop out and then I started doing some chess work. And then I think I met, was it? And then while waiting at the airport in New York with my laptop out, analyzing some chess work, a guy approached me, and he was also a player from the United States who was going to play in the Reykjavik Open. So then we started chatting, and then finally it's time to start boarding. So I put my laptop out. But then when I reached Reykjavik, it turns out that I forgot the adapter plug, which got left in New York. So when I arrived in Reykjavik, it was very hard. I didn't have my adapter plug, and your computer laptop is the most important thing that you bring to chess tournaments. So I didn't have my adapter plug, and then the first game was going to start in 9 hours, and I was still sleepy. And then I started walking, looking for another adapter plug, and then I almost crossed the highway. So that was pretty bad. Just getting lost in Iceland, looking for the right adapter plug. And in Iceland, they have a different adapter, and also they have different voltage in their electricity, I believe. So it wouldn't have worked. But fortunately, the organizer in Iceland, I talked to him, and he was very helpful, and he managed to finally get me that adapter plug. So shout out to the organizer in Iceland. What's his name? He's a very good person. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Reykjavik Open, It's a good tournament. If you haven't been there, you should go at least once in your life. Okay, let's see. Okay, GM Aryan. Yeah, don't really know exactly who I should answer. Can one only play Sicilian Paulsen all the time? GM Aryan. Yeah, I guess again it depends on your level, but I talked about the Sicilian time. Wait, Sicilian Paulsen is Sicilian Taimanov, right? Not Sicilian Can. Yeah, Paulsen I assume is the Sicilian Taimanov. After the moves e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, cd4, knight d4, knight c6. Yeah, I guess the Sicilian Taimanov, I talked about it in brief in my last Banter Blitz a month ago. And I would like to take back what I said. Yes, Sicilian Taimanov is a very good opening. Or the Sicilian Taimanov, I assume that's the Sicilian Paulsen, right? So Sicilian Taimanov is a very good opening. And it's a very solid opening. It's just you have to know all the concrete details and you have to know all the concrete moves. So you need to be well prepared. If you just want to play the Sicilian Taimanov, oh, Paulsen is Can. Okay, I thought Sicilian Paulsen was Taimanov. I must be wrong though. Okay, Sicilian Can. Okay, never mind. Never mind all I said. But anyway, the Sicilian Can, you want to play it all the time. I don't know. It's quite risky if you just play the Sicilian Can all the time. For example, my friend before, Darwin Lilo, he used to play the Sicilian Can exclusively with the black pieces, but then he suffered a few heavy defeats. I don't know. I think there are probably stronger Sicilian setups than the Can because the Can is a very solid opening. It's a very flexible opening, but White can always gain more space by playing c4 in the future. So I guess yeah, it's quite risky if you only play the Sicilian Can because White has a number of choices like Bishop d3 or c4 or even g3. White has a number of choices to get a slightly better position with more space. So it's up to you. If the Sicilian Can fits your playing style, where you like playing this hedgehog structure with pawns on b6 and d6, then sure, but it's quite risky. I suggest that you add also, I don't know, the Taimanov. Maybe that works better. If you play both the Taimanov and the Can, then that might be easier. Let's see. Who should I answer? Capablanca or Rubinstein? Definitely Capablanca. Capablanca, yeah, would be my choice because I believe Capablanca, they say, is one of the most talented chess players who ever lived. And Capablanca defined an era in chess where his play is so natural and so smooth. About the Caro-Kann, what do I think about the Caro-Kann defense? What do I think about the Caro-Kann defense? Again, on the lower level, the Caro-Kann works very well. But every opening, again, depends on your playing style. So the problem with the Caro-Kann is it gives White extra space on the dark squares on the center. So on the Caro-Kann after d4, d5, yeah, White has the option to advance his pawn with e5, or he has the option to play knight c3. So the Caro-Kann gives White a bit more space than what you get. So if you don't mind that, the Caro-Kann is a very solid opening. But if you're the type of person or the type of player like me, who don't like giving up space, then the Sicilian is a better option. But if you don't mind, if you like getting solid positions with slightly a bit less space, then the Caro-Kann is definitely a good choice. What do I consider the lower level? I consider the lower level to be ratings of 20, I guess 20, 200 and lower would be lower level for me. Because on the lower level, Opening choice are really based on personal preference. When are we, Fear Wins Gamer? Thank you for your word. When are we going to start streaming? We as fans are waiting for you to see you regularly. Well, thank you. Thank you. Very kind words. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you all guys who are online for all your kind words and for the good guys out there. Thank you. It brightens up our day, as a chess professional to see good comments like that. Because yeah, it's very difficult here. It's nice to hear. There are good people out there. Let's see. Karen Guide, shouldn't a piece be allowed to capture a pawn by en passant? Suppose the bishop is on the a1 h8 diagonal, and a black and a black pawn moves from f7 to f5, and then bishop takes f6. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's say you play b3, and then black plays e6, bishop b2, f5, and then you can play bishop takes f6. Yeah, no, that rule doesn't make sense because first of all, the en passant works because as you all guys all know, so the en passant works once a pawn has reached the fifth rank. So after let's say e4, e6, e5, if black plays d5 or f5, then you can capture with e takes d6, and that only works as a chess rule because it gives an advantage because your pawn has already advanced on the fifth rank. So your pawn has advanced on the fifth rank, so he's already advanced 3 squares, e1, e4, 2, e5, third. So your pawn has already advanced 3 squares, so he's already worked hard to get there. So that's why he gets the en passant privilege. But if your bishop swings from b2 and then it moves to en passant, that doesn't make sense because the bishop didn't cross the upper half of the board. And doesn't make sense. Let's see. What is the most important thing to study, Caleb J? The most important thing to study, again, depends on your level. But I assume it's tactics. So if you have a good puzzle book, you don't need a lot of puzzle books. Just have one and read it from cover to cover. There are hundreds of good puzzle books out there. And if you just solve, let's say, 4 or 5 a day, but you shouldn't look at the answer. You should just stare at the board. Try not to move too many pieces. Just don't move anything. Just think and try to solve the answers as deep as you can. Don't look at the answers when solving puzzle book, and don't move the board too much. Al Policy 27. Any insight on the French defense? Okay. Okay, so let's look at the openings. So when white plays e4, which is the most popular move, and I assume it's the best move, so that's why I'm doing a course on it. When white plays e4, the two best black replies for sure are 1 e4 e5 and 1 e4 c5. So those are the two best replies against e4. And the reason they're the best is because black fights for control of space. So the first general principle in the opening is you try to control the center and try to control as much space as possible with your pieces or your pawns. And with c5 and e5, black prevents us from getting any space whatsoever. And so black fights on an equal note. When you play the flank openings, let's say the Caro-Kann or the Scandinavian or the French, you're generally saying that you're giving white more space, but in exchange, you want to attack his center later with the move c7, c5. So for that reason, French and Caro-Kann, they're good openings. They're not the best openings against 1 e4, but they're very good openings nonetheless. So the French defense after d4, d5 is a good opening. I assume white's best move is knight c3. Knight d2 is also good. But it's all a matter of personal preference. So in the French, after knight c3, I believe Anish Giri recommended on his course the win-over defense with bishop b4. So if you haven't if you haven't tried the French Defense yet and are interested to play it, you should definitely check out Anish Gear's course. And then if you get terrible results, then you can ask for your money back. But if you get great results, you should write Anish an email and thank him. But in general, yeah, if you're interested to play the French, you should definitely check it out. The French Defense, by the way, is one of my favorite openings as a teenager. I used this opening to beat Vasily Ivanchuk, which I showed in my game yesterday. You can look it up on YouTube. And I also used the French Defense to beat Gatakamsky. Yeah, 30-day money back. That's a good thing about Chessable. So buy it a week before your tournament and then play it. If you get terrible results, ask for your money back. Or I don't know. I guess I'm not really a Chessable staff member, so you should ask them. Smarta, when will over the board tournaments return for casual players? Open tournaments. Over the board tournaments, I believe it's coming up soon. With open tournaments, first of all, depends how large the open tournament is. If it's like the Olympiad with thousands of players, I don't think we'll get there anytime this year. But if it's just a regular tournament, let's say 50 players or 80 players, I believe over the board, personally, in my opinion, I believe we'll get back to that in the summer. In my opinion, we'll see the return of over the board open tournaments this summer. Because of two things. First of all, we're already seeing more and more courageous organizers who are holding over the board tournaments. For example, I believe Sunway Sitges is an open tournament over the board being held right now. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, Sunway Sitges is an open tournament, and they're playing right now. Actually, they're playing as we speak, or they just finished their game. Yeah, so Sunway Sitges is an open tournament played in Spain right now. So there you go. We're already having some open tournaments here and there. So I believe the chess organizers are getting more courageous and the players are getting more courageous, and they're trying to play over the board. And B, we have the vaccine being distributed across America as we speak. So if that is effective, then people can go back to their normal lives. Let's see. Erwin Besina, opening repertoire book for classical time control. Well, the opening repertoire book for classical time control. Well, it depends what opening you want to play. It depends what opening you want to play. So if you want to play D4 or E4, but I can recommend the Grandmaster. I can recommend the Grandmaster Repertoire series. Let's see. Yeah, I can recommend the Grandmaster Repertoire series books by Quality Chess. There you go. For example, 2008, the book that convinced me to play 1D4, thanks to Boris Abruch's book, Grandmaster Repertoire 1D4. So I believe that was one of the most successful opening chess books that were ever written. Grandmaster Repertoire series by Boris Abruch. That was a very successful series by him. Okay. G Cool Guy. Okay, again, shout out to all the people out there, especially those who are watching right now. Drexler Balain, who is closest to you among the top 10 chess players? Among the top 10 chess players, who is the closest to me? Let's see. So let's see who is in the top 10 right now. So Carlsen, Caruana, Nepomniachtchi, Ding Liren, Vacher Lagrave, Aronian, Grischuk, Mamidirov, So, Rajabov. Those are the top 10. And Giri, okay, we can also consider. The closest to me in the top 10 players, that's a good question. Well, generally, I don't really have a preference. I don't really have a favorite, or I don't have the favoritism type. So in general, I'm in very good casual relationship with all the top players in general. Like I don't have any enemies. I don't really have anybody who I dislike or hate in particular. So um our family and I, we try to keep a good relationship and just a civil relationship with everybody, but especially with the top players because you see them regularly. Let's see. I like Levon Aronian. Levon Aronian's definitely a great cool guy. He's funny. He's very intelligent. He's charismatic. He's witty. And Anish Giri too. I like Anish Giri. He's very friendly. He's witty. You never get an unpleasant conversation with Anish Giri. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, in general, we just keep things civil and close. Let's see, who should I answer? Which Magnus is a Kasparov wannabe? Which of your instructional videos would you recommend to a club player? Which of my instructional videos? I haven't really done much instructional videos in general. I did the Fisher Random 960, my experiences in the Fisher Random. I've done a couple of videos before in the old days in a different site, but in general, I haven't really done instructional videos. Let's see. But if you ask me what my favorite course in Chessable is, let's see. I don't know which site you get your videos from, but if you ask me, if you have some money and you want to buy a video from Chessable, I'll tell you what my favorite one is. Again, it depends on what you're looking for or what you're trying to improve on your chess. But yeah, if you want, I can tell you what my favorite who my favorite author in Chessable is, or what my favorite course is. But anyway, okay, let's see. If you could play with a player from the past or could spend time with him, who would you pick? A player from the past. A chess player from the past. Who would I pick? If I could spend time with a chess player from the past, who would I pick? Let's see. Who are some of the greatest chess players out there? Okay, they're chess player from the past. You mean chess player from the past who's deceased or who's still alive? Who else is there? I don't know. I'd probably pick. I mean, he's still alive, but I'd pick Anatoly Karpov. Anatoly Karpov is one of my most favorite chess players who ever lived and is still living. So Anatoly Karpov is still around. I mean, but Anatoly Karpov is one of my most favorite chess players ever. So if I could learn from him in his younger years, let's say if back in the 70s or 80s, then definitely choose Anatoly Karpov. He's such a great player. I have only ever met him once, so I don't really know him as a person, but I really admire his chess. So if he's a great person, then that would be a bonus. Let's see. I was thinking of getting the Art of Attack with Simon Williams. Do you think that would be a good choice? Art of Attack. Okay, let's take a look at Art of Attack. Let's see what Art of Attack is about. Okay, there we go. Art of Attack in chess. I like GM Simon Williams, by the way. I've watched some of his videos. He's a very cool guy, and it seems like he explained things very well. So I like Simon Williams as an author. It seems like you can understand exactly what he's saying, and you can understand how he explains chess. So definitely, Simon Williams is one of those highly recommended authors. So let's see. Art of Attack in Chess. Blast through your enemy's defenses and deliver the ultimate blow with the classic Art of Attack trainer from Everyman Chess, now available for the first time on a trainable platform. Take a much-loved classic of chess literature, add Move Trainer, then add 29 hours of video with the Ginger GM Simon Williams. Vladimir Vukovic's iconic course is concerned primarily with teaching you one thing: attacking the opponent's castled king. It's a masterpiece in clear, precise instructions on how to bring the house crashing down. Edited by GM John Nunn and given a thorough engine check for 2020 by Chessable's FIDE master Kamil Plichka. It is designed to train the tactical problems Vukovic prevents, so you learn the motives fast. And now we've added GM Williams into the mix. After all, who better to teach it than the Ginger GM? Everyone knows Simon for his swashbuckling play and the fact that he is just brilliant at explaining what's going on. Simon, who is now an experienced chessable author, is just the ideal person to guide you through the art of attack in chess and teach you the concepts and help you to master them. Under the hood, Vukovic first reveals how to spot the preconditions necessary to launch an attack. These include control of the center, prevention of counterplay on the sideboard, proper posting of the attacker's pieces, and weakening the castle king defenses. So, yeah, Simon Williams definitely is definitely a highly recommended author and video maker. So, The Art of Attack in Chess is a book published in 1999 by Vladimir Vukovic. So I haven't seen the book personally myself. But yeah, Art of Attack in Chess, definitely. If you haven't tried Simon Williams yet as an author, I recommend you do so, because he's good at explaining stuff. Yeah, I guess so. The Art of Attack in Chess is a good choice. This Checkmate Patterns by John Bartholomew is also a good course. So you have your options. If you're trying to practice your mating patterns or attacking the enemy king, so definitely you should try that. You should try either Simon Williams or John Bartholomew's course. So definitely, I believe there are also a lot of good books out there about attacking in chess. So let's see. Okay, Art of Attack in Chess is good. Yeah, there's Attacking Josh Waitkins. Attack with Mikhail Tal. Okay, so you should if you want, you should get the video, and you should also get a chess book to complement that. Okay, who should I answer? Sorry that took long. Anyway, who do you rate as the best natural chess player with the best vision? Best natural chess player, I'd say probably Raul Capablanca. He's one of the most talented chess players who ever lived. Raul Capablanca, Paul Morphy, those are definitely high up. And Vishy Anand is also a very natural chess player. Vishy Anand is a classic chess player. I mean, of course, right now he's still very good, but Vishy Anand is definitely one of the most talented chess players who ever lived, for sure. Kisa Bigel, have you ever been to Hungary? Did you play with Hungarian chess masters? What do you think of them? Yeah, I've been to Hungary. I trained with Judith Poligar back in 2014 before the Norway Chess Olympiad. If you remember, in 2014 the Olympics was held in Norway. So I worked with Judith. I've been to Hungary. Um yeah, and I believe that they're planning to hold a chess tournament in Hungary, right? Let's see. If I remember correctly, I heard that they're planning to hold a major tournament in Hungary 2024. Aren't they planning to hold the Olympics there or something? Or am I imagining things? Let's see. Chess Olympics 2024. Yeah, I'm not imagining things. So chess.com published that the 2024 Chess Olympiad will probably be held in Budapest, Hungary from September. Yeah, so probably the 2024 Chess Olympiad might be held in Hungary, Budapest. So there will be a lot of chess players going to visit Hungary at that point. And also Susan Polgar, who's the coach of Webster. She's Hungarian. So yeah, so I work with her a lot too. So and so yeah, I have some good experiences working with Hungarian players. Clamor 74. What do you think of Daniel Narditsky impersonations? Found it perfect, including yours. Yeah, actually, to be honest, Daniel Narditsky impersonations are pretty good. Pretty good. They're pretty good. I haven't seen it all, but yeah, he sure can imitate. I like the one where he imitated Gary. So yeah, let's see, who can I answer? What do I think of Hungarian chess masters? Well, Hungary has had a rich chess history, right? You have Peter Leko, who almost became the 12 world champion. You have the Polgar sisters, instant classic, of course. You have Richard Laporte. You have Sultan Almasi, who's one very good player. You have Lajos Portic. How do you pronounce that? Portic. Lajos Portic, who is one of the strongest players who never became the world champion. Let's see, you have Palbenko, you have Gyula Breyer, you have Gyula Sachs, you have Maroczy. Okay, I didn't even realize that Maroczy is Hungarian. You have Adorian, Andras Adorian, you have Lowenthal, Gyula Sachs. So actually, for a relatively small country in Europe, Hungary has produced an amazing number of extremely good chess players. Also, you have Sultan Ribli, you have Laszlo Sabo. So yeah, it's incredible for a small nation in Europe. Hungary has produced an insane amount of powerful chess players. So it's incredible. Yeah. Who can be the next big thing in chess? Firuzja or Nihal Sarin? Or maybe other youngsters like Pragnananda? Well, definitely Firuzja. Firuzja could be the next big thing. I mean, not that he isn't yet. I mean, he's probably already the big thing right now. Because his rating is almost 2750. And he's only how old is Firuzja? He's only 17 and a half, or yeah, almost 17 and a half. So Firuzja right now is almost 17 and a half, and this rating is close to 2750. So he's already the big thing. He's not the next big thing, he's the big thing. We'll see how he does in Waikanse. But as I said many times, if Firuzja keeps going at the insane rate that he's going, then he's definitely going to be the world champion if he can keep it up, for sure. Let's see, who can I answer? Off-topic question. Do you think Bitcoin can reach 20K by the end of the year? Yeah, Bitcoin is already almost 20K. So yeah, for sure. Bitcoin. Yeah, for sure. Bitcoin right now is 19,404 US dollars. So Bitcoin could reach 20,000 in 2 days. Who knows? But that's the thing with Bitcoin. It's so unpredictable. Some people predict that Bitcoin could be worth almost $400,000 in 10 years. So that's insane. If you bought, for people who follow crypto, if you bought Bitcoin a year ago or 2 years ago, one Bitcoin equals $6,000 or $8,000. And then some people predict that Bitcoin could be worth up to $400,000 in the next decade. That's insane. But I know. I know some people who have invested in Bitcoin and they didn't get and then they lost some money, but I don't know. You need to be real courageous to invest in Bitcoin because it's a new thing. It's a recent thing, and Bitcoin is still cryptocurrency and is still unmanaged. I believe the government is still trying to subsidize it and all that. But yeah, I haven't really followed cryptocurrency that much, but it seems like it's going to be the next big thing. So if you have Bitcoin, then don't sell it. Definitely hang on to it. Maybe sell it in 20 years. Yeah, Paul Benko, Hungarian chess master, Benko Gambit. Sergeant Stubby, what do I think of the Benko Gambit? What do I think of the Benko Gambit? Let's see. Benko Gambit, d4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, b5 takes. What do I think of the Benko Gambit? Benko Gambit is an extremely good surprise opening system. If your opponent's not expecting that you play the Benko, you should play it against him and then see what happens. Just try to prepare it well, try to get the ideas. But the Benko Gambit is an extremely good surprise weapon. So if your opponent's not expecting it and he doesn't know what to do against it, you could get an extremely good position very quickly. Just don't rely on the Benko too much, because if your opponent is expecting that you play the Benko, you could run under some pressure if he prepares well. But yeah, it's a very good practical surprise weapon. Yeah, the market fluctuates numbers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I guess the real problem with cryptocurrency is you don't exactly know where to store it. So it's not like a bank where you know exactly where your money is. With cryptocurrency, you don't exactly know where the best place. Like there's no one single best place, I don't think, to store crypto, or where people can recommend you to store it. Can you explain what would each of your 3 parts of the E4 repertoire consist of? How different is it from John Shaw and Negi's repertoire? Yeah. Let's see. What does Negi recommend? How different is it from John Shaw's 1E4 repertoire? Well, I haven't seen John Shaw's 1E4 repertoire yet. I've taken a browse at Negi's, but with Negi, his E4 repertoire is consisted of a lot of books. It's a lot of different books. And yeah, my 1e4 repertoire is a bit shorter than his because I believe he's written like how many books did Negi write? Okay, Negi has written 4 huge books. Or no, 5 books. Yeah, Negi has written 5 books, right? Or is it more? Let's see. Yeah, he's probably written 4 books or 5. No, he's written 5 books. And he hasn't, and in those 5 big books, he hasn't even covered E5. So Negi's going to have to write 1 or 2 more books to cover E5. And yeah, well, I'm not exactly sure how their book is because I didn't read every single one of them. But my repertoire is based on getting more space. It's about seizing space and about playing a position that you find easier than your opponent. So you're hopefully going to become more used to the system more than your opponent. You get more space and get a pleasant position. But we'll see. It'll come out soon. I still have to do the introduction, the quick starter. But yeah. What things do you miss in the Philippines? Yeah, I miss a lot of things. The Philippines is where I grew up. So I miss the people in the Philippines. I miss just the Filipino people are very close people in general, and I had a number of friends there, and Filipinos are very close to each other. They show a lot of compassion. They show a lot of care for each other. So that's what I miss, the Filipino brotherhood, or don't know what the exact word is, but yeah. But yeah, definitely many things I miss in the Philippines. Just Filipinos in general are very friendly people and very warm and very welcoming. So that's those are some of the things that I miss. Although, yeah, let's see. Hi Wesley, how do you improve your hi Daroch? How do you improve your board vision so you won't focus on one side of the board or just your plan? How do I improve my board vision? Hmm. Well, again, practice makes perfect. So practice, and before every tournament, I generally try to aside time to train, to make sure that I'm warmed up, to train, study my opponent's games, and just solve some tactics, and just make sure you don't arrive in the board cold. So constant practice. That's how you improve your board vision. Just constant practice and constant training and constant exercises. I guess that's the best answer I can give. Lego 94. How many moves ahead do you think at most? Typically, well, it depends on the position. That's a very typical question, actually. How many moves do you think at most typically? I remember there was a classic chess player. He said, I only see one move in advance, but I see the best move. Um, I don't know. It depends on the position. So in the middle game, yeah, a few a few more minutes. Okay. Yeah, okay. It depends on the type of position, but if the position is positional, then I don't really see more than 4 moves in advance. If the position is strategic, let's say so Floru Lopez. But I just generally anticipate what my opponent's next best move is, or what his most probable next best move is. So let's say my opponent's thinking, and I look at the position. I anticipate what most likely his next best move is, and I try to prepare accordingly. But generally, positional, uh, in a strategic position, then generally 4 moves, 5 moves. But if you're sacrificing a piece, or if you're playing the poison pawn of the Sicilian Najdorf, then generally you have to look way ahead. If you're sacrificing a piece where you go all in and you either lose the game or you win the game, then I can see deeply. I can see up to 12 moves, 15 moves in advance. But for example, when I'm solving very difficult puzzles, I can see up to 15 moves in advance. But it all depends on the position. Okay, let's see. Hello, Wesley. I'm working hard on tactics, the woodpecker method, but not improving. Please help. The woodpecker method. Woodpecker method. I haven't seen that book personally. Book by Axel Smith and Hans Tikkanen. So I played Hans Tikkanen in the past. So you're studying the woodpecker method, but not improving. Please help. Um, yeah, well, as I said earlier, can recommend 2 things. A, you need to create also, depending on your level, you need to create a cohesive opening repertoire for yourself with both white and black. You don't need to study too much, just one cohesive repertoire. For example, if you study 1d4 or 1e4 or 1c4 the English, or 1 knight f3 or the London, just try to complete one cohesive opening repertoire. No need to create backup openings. Just one. Focus on one, and analyze it really well and prepare it really well, and make it complete. Make your repertoire complete. That way you meet all of black's possible opening responses in return. Just make it complete, and stick to that opening repertoire for the next few months or the next year or so. And as you play in tournaments, if it didn't work out, you should review the games that didn't work out and find out what went wrong. So there, if you're not improving on your chess, then A, you're probably either using the computer engine too much, which is important in the opening, but in general, looking at the computer assessment too much doesn't help you improve. You should rely on yourself and not on the computer. And B, if you're not improving, compile the games that you played, compile their tournament games, or compile your practice games, especially the games that you've lost, and find out what went wrong. Because as they say, the games where you learn the most are from the games that you've lost. Hi, Wesley, JB Bernal again. Can you speak other languages aside from English, and who will you choose, Karpov or Kasparov, and why? Yeah, I speak only English and the Tagalog, which is the native language in the Philippines. So Tagalog, that's our language there. So I speak both. And who will I choose, Karpov or Kasparov? Choose for what? Choose for talking or choose as a coach? But yeah, in general, Karpov and Kasparov are 2 of my most favorite chess players who ever lived. And I see Gary Kasparov regularly in the St. Louis Chess Club. So Gary Kasparov has been tremendous help, and Gary Kasparov has been tremendous in popularizing the sport of chess, and so he's done a lot for the chess community. Let's see. GM, so do you like chess composition? Do you have your favorite chess composer? Yeah. Yeah, I like chess compositions. I actually so mm, okay here. This is my one of my favorite chess books too. I mean, I finished this book from cover to cover. So yeah, this is a good chess composition book by Mark Dvoretsky. Mark Dvoretsky is unfortunately passed away, um, but he's written a lot of wonderful chess books. He's probably the most successful chess coach and author in the history. But this book's called Studies for Practical Players, Improving Calculation and Resourcefulness in the Endgame by Mark Dvoretsky and Oleg Pervakov. So this is a really good book if you like solving studies. Yeah. But yeah, Mark Dvoretsky's books are definitely a must-have if you're interested in studies. For example, I have the Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, the latest version, the 5th version. So Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, there's a lot of studies and compositions there that are extremely difficult and almost impossible to solve. So let's see. Will chess 960 replace or reform traditional chess? I don't think so. I think traditional chess will always be around, at least in the next decade or so. So yeah, the idea of chess 960 is very good, and the concept is extremely good. But the problem is, it's hard for people to follow, and it's hard for people to remember because there's just a tremendous amount of positions that are there. I mean, 960 positions is a lot for people to follow. So that's the problem with chess 960 is people don't remember the best games, the classic games, because no one even remembers the starting position that you played after the game is finished. So I don't know. I think traditional chess will always be around, but we'll see. We'll see. With the advancement of technology, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen in the world. JB Bernal, what other sports do you play? I don't generally play a lot, but I like swimming. I've always been good at swimming. And I can play basketball. Basketball is the number one sport in the Philippines, and everyone watches NBA. So yeah. Sambit Panda. Hi Wesley, is it good to be more flexible in the opening and change openings frequently? Um, it depends on your level. It depends on your level, but I believe for the lower levels, I don't think it's a good idea to change openings frequently. For the lower level, I don't believe you should just jump around and change from the Sicilian to the French to the Caro-Kann. That's not generally not a good idea. You're at 2200 in FIDE. Um, yeah, no, I think it's not the best idea to change openings frequently. I think you should stick to the opening where you have the best results. Yeah, FIDE, yes. Yeah, I think you should stick to the openings where you have the best results and stick to the openings that you like the most and where you're getting the best results at. And just try to make that opening extremely strong and try to know its insides and outs. Yeah, for example, with me, I've been playing the 1e4 and I've been playing the Sicilian Najdorf from time to time, but also I'm sticking with 1e4 because I could switch opening and play other things. But in general, you should play openings where you feel most at home at, and then review the games that you have after they're finished and try to see where you went wrong. Try to analyze deeper and try to find out the mistakes that you did in that opening. So I fully believe that instead of jumping around from opening to opening, trying to surprise your opponent, you should play to your own strengths and you should play where you most feel at home at. If you're a positional player, you should play the Queen's Gambit or the Ruy Lopez. Well, if you're a more aggressive player, you should play like the Sicilian or the Grunfeld or I don't know, the Semi-Slav or the Nimso Indian. For example, what interests you in playing chess? What interests me in playing chess is because I love the game. I've been playing it since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I have a lot of experience. So I love playing the game. I love looking at the chessboard and the chess pieces, and sparring with other players who love the game. I have this strong passion in the game. So I love it because it's interesting, because chess is almost infinite and chess is very deep, and there always room for improvement. And when you're tired or you're stressed, you can always just sit at the board and play with someone or play with your friend. So it's very relaxing for me in that regard. Um, yeah, but also right now chess is my job, so it's not like I have much of a choice in any case. But in any case, even if I'm not a chess professional, I would still love to play from time to time. And I love watching people play chess. So if I have friends or over, or if I'm in a tournament, I love watching a good game of blitz chess or rapid chess. It's fun for me. I love watching chess and I love playing chess. So yeah, maybe just because it's always been my passion since childhood, and it's never really gone away. As they say, once a chess player, always a chess player. You keep coming back, even though some people might not want to. Ducalati, Bobby Fischer, or Magnus Carlsen? What do you think? Which one is better, or somebody else? Well, I think the answer should be Bobby Fischer, because Bobby Fischer was tremendous in his time. He's like the stockfish of his generation. Bobby Fischer is like the stockfish of his generation. When anyone else was playing at this level, Bobby Fischer was at this level. So for that reason, I would have said Bobby Fischer, because he was so dominating. He scored 11 out of 11 in the US Championship, which no one has even come close to gotten. And he's also scored 9.5 out of 11, 9 out of 11. These are just tremendous scores. And he beat Bent Larsen 6-0, and he beat Mark Taimanov 6-0, and he beat Tigran Petrosyan 6.5, 2.5. And those are just some of the scores that you'll never find. But the problem with choosing Bobby Fischer as the greatest chess player who ever lived is that he has a very short professional time span. He has a very short career span. So unfortunately, he retired in 1972 after he won the World Chess Championship. So in that regard, it's hard to select him as the greatest chess player who ever lived. It's just because he retired at in his peak. So he didn't show enough examples. He didn't show enough games. And so yeah, it's really unfortunate that he retired so young. What is my most memorable chess game, JB Bernal? Yeah, my most memorable chess game. Well, I analyzed 3 games yesterday, and I believe that the Ding Liren game is my most beautiful game I played so far. But my most memorable chess game, I don't know. It's hard to pick one, so I don't really have one most specific memorable chess game. At least none that I can remember. Let's see. I, Wesley, I'm a friend of Ville Arbiter, Butch Villavieja, and Lehi Laceste from Canada. I don't know if you remember them from the Philippines. You're one of my favorite players of all time since your game against Ivanchuk in 2015. I have been a big fan. I hope you stay motivated to challenge the world title one day. What advice do you have for improving chess calculation? Me 2000 FIDE player. Thank you. Yeah, Arkham Asylum. Yeah, I do remember Butch Villavieja. I've known him very well. Back in the Philippines, I think I've known him for several years. And Lehi Laceste. I know Lauren Laceste. He's around my same age. He was one of my main rivals in the under 10 age group and in the under 12 age group while I was growing up. So Lehi Laceste is what's his relation with Lauren Laceste? Yeah, I heard they moved to Canada 10 years ago. But yeah, I know Butch Villabian and Lauren. But what is your advice for improving chess calculation? 2000 FIDE player. My advice for improving chess calculation is simple. Where is it? Sorry, just 1 second. Grandmaster preparation calculation. Okay, so here's my advice for you for improving your calculation. So buy this book by Jacob Agard. I put the link there. Grandmaster preparation calculation. So study this book from cover to cover. Generally, try to solve positions that is closer to your level, because if you try to go too hard, then it's very difficult to solve. But just try to solve positions that are close to your level. And again, when solving puzzle books, I have 2 recommendations. A, don't look at the answer unless you're 1,000% sure that you know the answer is correct for sure. Because if you don't know, if you just look at the answer, then what's the point of solving? Well, I know it from experience because I have the same problem. And B, when you're solving calculation, try to put it in a real board, a chessboard and pieces, and not just on a computer screen, because it's more effective to study in a board pieces than in a screen. Yeah, because A, there's not as much temptation to check with an engine, and B, you're able to focus studying if there are no electronics around. And so when you're solving studies or puzzles, you put in a chessboard, try not to move the pieces too much, but just think and spend time. And if you finish that book from cover to cover, and if your calculation doesn't improve, then yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. Wesley, what do you think about the Berlin defense? The Berlin defense is probably the most solid. Oh no, the Berlin defense is definitely the most solid. Not probably. The Berlin defense is definitely the most solid defense against 1e4 right now, and probably in history too. So the Berlin defense definitely the most solid defense against 1e4. It's more solid than the Petrov. And I believe there are 3 best openings against 1e4. My top 4 openings against 1e4 is or against 1e4, which my opinion, the Berlin defense, the Sicilian Najdorf, the Sicilian Marshal, and the Sicilian Sveshnikov. So those are the 4 best openings against 1e4. That I'm pretty sure of. So top 4 again: Berlin defense, Marshal defense, Sicilian Najdorf, and the Sicilian Sveshnikov. And so the Berlin defense is far from being refuted. And the advantage of the Berlin defense compared to the Marshal is that in the Marshal, you have to know all these Ruy Lopez sidelines. While with the Berlin, you can play knight f6 on move 3 right away. So you cut it off. Who makes more money, McDonald's worker or 2400 chess player? Yeah. If you're 2400 and if you just play chess for a living, it's impossible. You need to mix it up. You need to do coaching, do videos, write books, train courses, train students, start streaming. So if you're a 2400 chess player who relies mainly on playing, it's hopeless. Forget it. Or I'm not saying forget it, but it's extremely difficult, and there are better things to do in life, or there are easier things to do in life. So yeah. What is your favorite Karpov book? Magnus is Kasparov Bombi. So my favorite Karpov book, there are many, but where is it? Progress in Chess. No, that one. Not that one. But is it this? Okay. Okay, I lost the. Wait 1 second. Yeah, my favorite Karpov chess book. Yeah, anyway, my favorite Karpov chess book is My Best Games by Anatoly Karpov. So, yeah. Oh, so I just saw that Taimur Rajabov is doing the Banter Blitz right now. So you guys should probably move over there. Oh no, Taimur Rajabov is doing My Best Games in the Skilling Open. Okay. Oh no, it's going to start in 19 minutes. Okay, so it hasn't started yet. Oh, until I'm finished. Okay, so I should probably go right now and let Taimur start his show. But yeah. Yeah, I lost the Chess 24 chat. I must have closed it by accident. So I only have the can you give me the link of the Chess 24 chat? Yeah, so I only have YouTube now. Okay, so who is your closest GM chess player? Closest GM chess player. I answered that earlier. What are my favorite chess ball courses? Yeah, my favorite hard to speak, need water. Let's see, my favorite chessable course. Okay, there you go. My favorite chessable course is, let's see. Yeah. So check out John Bartholomew's endgame courses. He's got a few in Chessable. So if you have an account Chessable, just go over there and search his name in the search bar, John Bartholomew. So I watch a few of his videos in the endgame, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm not only saying that because he lives nearby. John Bartholomew lives 45 minutes away from where I live. So I'm not only recommending his course because of that. But if you haven't seen John Bartholomew's videos, he does videos on YouTube, by the way, and I believe also on Twitch, if I'm correct, and also on Chessable. So if you haven't seen John Bartholomew's videos, you should definitely watch a few. Personally, I really like them. But yeah, check it out. Wesley, can you give any advice on improving one's endgame skills and converting positions at times? Oh, did you send me the link? Okay, here, I have the link. Okay. Perfect. I got the link back for Chess 24. Bilelu67. Hi. Bilelu67. What does your training session entail? Yeah, hi Bilelu67. So there are two different trainings. So there's a different okay, there are three different trainings, to be fair. So there's a different way for training for classical chess over the board. It's a completely different training. If you're preparing for a classical chess tournament, I believe the training is different. If you're preparing for blitz or rapid speed chess over the board, the training is completely different. While if you're preparing for a speed or rapid online chess tournament, the training is completely different. So first, it depends what kind of tournaments you're preparing for. Because I believe that tactics are much more important in blitz and rapid than in classical chess. It's just my opinion. But this year, 90% of the tournaments are held online. So I have to try to be better and more adept at playing online. So right now, with chess tournaments being held online exclusively, I practice a lot of games online. I practice a lot of blitz. I play almost every day. In fact, I will be playing blitz right now, most likely. Uh, but yeah, and I also have sparring partners whom I won't name, but I have online sparring partners. So I play with them regularly, twice a week, 3 times a week. And I spend a few hours with them playing games online, getting ready with the mouse, which I also have the best mouse in the world, which you can't see right now. But yeah, I use a very good mouse. I practice a lot of chess online, with the blitz or rapid time format. I have sparring partners, and I solve a lot of tactics, tactical books. I work a lot with chessboard. Right now, I'm working on this book. It's called The 600 Modern Chess Puzzles by Martin Krabsiv. And in general, the puzzles are not very difficult, but he's got the last chapter, which is quite difficult even for me. The very last chapter. So yeah, I also have this book, Studies for Practical Players. I read this book from cover to cover many years ago. So this is also a good book if you're interested in studies. But yeah, if you're preparing for blitz or rapid, then the most important thing is tactics. The most important thing is to warm up. Make sure you arrive on the tournament warm and not cold. Because if you're playing blitz, then it's more likely that your opponents are going to blunder and make mistakes here and there. So the nature of the game is much faster than in classical chess. And yeah. Well, meanwhile, if you're preparing for classical chess, the training is much more extensive, and I train much longer. But I don't have any classical tournaments until probably May or April, so I'm not worried about that now. GM, so what is your most memorable defeat in chess? KS Legion, Legion O. Yeah. So if you play chess, you're going to suffer terrible defeats from time to time. It's part of life. You can cry it out, nothing to be ashamed of. But losing is a terrible part of the career and the game. Going to happen to everyone. So my two most memorable defeats in chess are actually my games against Magnus. So Bilbao Chess 2016 against Magnus Carlsen. I was black in the Berlin, so he beat me there. So that was a memorable defeat. Thank you very much. And the other one is my game against him in Wycansey in 2018 in the London defense, where I was on the way to draw, but he kept pushing and pushing, and I blundered after a 5 hour or 6 hour game. JB Bernal, how many hours do you play chess every day? Well, generally, I spend around right now in the COVID year, I spend around, let's say, 4 hours average every day. Sometimes longer, but yeah, generally I'd say I work on chess 4 to 5 hours a day, even if okay, no, I'm fine. I did over, so I'm good to go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so thanks again everyone who following the chat. Thanks for your time, and have a pleasant week. And Taimur Rajaba will do Banter Blitz and show his live games. So perfect. Champion for. Um, I'd say, what is it? The year now is 2020. We're almost finished with the year. So I don't know. It's hard to predict, but probably it's safe to say that Magnus will still be the world champion in the next 6 years. I think that's pretty safe to say. So in 6 years' time, Magnus will be 36. And yeah. As you get older, it's harder to hang on to the title. So for example, when Magnus turns 40 in 10 years' time, I think there will be serious contenders for the throne. But it's safe to say that in the next 6 years, he'll probably still be the world champion. Okay.